Alright, so myself and anybody who's done it will tell you that dirt biking is one of the most amazing pastimes, bar none. But the problem is so few people ever get to experience it. And that's for a number of reasons, but largely because it is a daunting world. For starters, I can't even begin to imagine what the inside of this dirt bike shop must look like from the perspective of an outsider looking in. I mean, there's 50 models in here. How the hell would you know which one was right for you? And upon closer inspection, you'd soon realise that they all cost somewhere between 12 and 16 grand, so that's 99.9% of people out right there. I mean, who's got that sort of money to spend on something they're not even sure they'll like? And that's not even stopping to consider the fact that you'll soon need all of the protective gear, the tools, and know how to do basic maintenance on the thing, a means of transporting it. I mean, it's like me thinking about getting into equestrianism, for example. First of all, where the hell do you buy a horse? I've lived my entire life and never once seen a horse store. So that's the first hitch. And then you've got to hitch up a silly looking trailer and go really slowly around corners so that the horse doesn't fall over in the back of it. Not to mention you've got to feed it a carrot every 5 minutes and then pick the carrot back up off the floor behind it 5 minutes later, making sure it doesn't kick or bite you whilst you're doing this. And then when you do finally take it out for a ride, it'll get spooked by the sound of its own fart and throw you off the back, breaking all of your ribs and its own leg in the process. So now you've got to hobble down with your broken ribs to the gun store and acquire a firearms license. My point is, I'd never even in a million years consider getting into it, and I'd forgive you for feeling the same way about dirt biking. But that's mainly because the means I've suggested of doing so here are ridiculous. I mean, if you did buy one of those things, not only would you be 15 grand in the hole, but you'd absolutely hate it and want to sell it immediately. A competition bike like that is fun in the hands of an experienced rider, but to a beginner, it's an absolute death trap. A beginner would go much better on, well, this AG, for example. And look, this thing's not 15 grand. In fact, it's not even a tenth of that. And it's got the friendliest little engine that'd never give you any trouble. It's low to the ground, so it's not intimidating. It'd climb just about anything with all the traction that it makes. And these things, they corner like they're on rails, believe it or not, all these old farm bikes. It's the damnedest thing. And the thing is, you could probably do even better than this for $1,000. I mean, what could you get? That gives me an idea. To Jeff.
What?
To Jeff.
You can't just say to Jeff. It's not the Batmobile. Jeff's a van.
To Jeff. With inspiration having struck, I got 5 grand in cash out and summoned the B team for an important briefing. Alright boys, so here's the plan. $1,000 each, acquire a bike by any means necessary, online auctions, asking around mates, whatever you have to do. Let's all try and acquire a bike for $1,000, the best bike we can, and we'll meet up in a couple weeks' time out at the Lake Station Farm for some challenges. Remember that anything you don't spend on the bike, you can spend on parts, but no ripping parts off your personal bike and no scavenging bits out of the garage that you've got sitting at home. You've actually got to go out and buy them with this money. Does that sound fair?
Yep.
And Jack, your bike has to have 2 wheels.
Bugger!
All right, well, let's rip into it.
Woo!
And just like that, we were off. Dead set on scouring every corner of the internet in search of the best deal available to our very limited budgets. Committed to the cause of showcasing to the world that dirt biking doesn't have to be expensive to still be fun. But much, much sooner than I'd expected. There was a major development in my camp.
Alright, sit rep. Late last night after some fruitless searching, I get a message on Messenger from a viewer to say that his old man's upgrading his bike. He's been wanting to do it for ages and he's finally going to pull the trigger on it. And they'll be selling his old one for less than $1,000. Would I be interested in it? And I had a bit of a look at it and it was pretty clear to me straight away that this was a solid bet. So after just confirming that it all worked and the thing wasn't a lemon, I, and a bit of haggling of course too, I basically pulled the trigger on it. So I'm off to pick that thing up right now. I won't spoil what it is, but Yeah, we're in with the shot here, boys. This could be it.
So basically, no thanks to myself, I had a good prospect lined up and I was on my way to go and have a look at it. Things were going unbelievably well. Or at least, better than they were for Matt anyway.
How are you?
Hello,
Yeah, hey there.
what can I help you out?
I'm inquiring about this 2021 KTM you've got on trade me at the moment.
Okay, yep,
Yeah, she's a runner, is she?
yeah.
Sweet
right,
as.
It's a brand new bike.
Would you take $1,000 for it by any chance?
You're joking.
No. Oh, well, I'm happy to come pick it up if that's what you're worried about. Hello? Hello? Some people.
Meanwhile,
Oh, she looks like a beast. Alright, let's go see this bad boy. How's it, mate?
Here she is.
Wow. I'm pretty impressed, like it's still even got its original graphics and everything.
No, because just yesterday someone's commuter bike around Wellington before Dad.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So it can be made road legal and everything.
Yeah.
a 1990 Suzuki DR250S in basically mint condition, and they only wanted $850 for it. Surely there was a catch. This thing wasn't running properly or something. Nope. So with that...
Alright, well look, I've got 850 as promised. You can count that if you want.
Easy as. I'll give it to the accountant over there.
Yeah.
I quickly bought the thing and got the hell out of there before they came to their senses and changed their minds about selling it to me. I don't know that much about old bikes, you see, but I knew enough to be able to guess that picking this thing up for under $1,000 was bloody good going.
Yeah, I'll do it proud. I reckon I'm going to win this thing. I will do. See you guys later. Alright, really happy with that. Those guys are super nice, and by the looks of it, they've even gone over the whole bike and tidied it up before I came and got it, which is, oh, that's just all you can ask for, especially on a bike that's less than $1,000. You wouldn't often see that, so yeah, I couldn't be happier about that. I think I might have got a bit of a mates rates deal there, to be fair, because of who I am. Probably a bit of a grey area in the rules, but we didn't think of that, so I'm rolling with it. Anyway, let's get this bad boy home and let's just see that everything's working well. I did start it up while I was there, but it was only to the extent of checking that the clutch was alright and that the brakes worked, which they do. So yeah, let's get the thing home and let's have a ride around on it, see how it's running. I got a feeling it's not going to take much. This thing's probably already in winning form. I'm feeling pretty confident now, guys.
I sure was, but it still needed some TLC. So I did the only logical thing and roped Dad and Granddad in to do all of the hard work for me.
Been taking a bit of dust over the last few years maybe.
Upon closer inspection, there were definitely some rough edges, but all in all, no major issues. So we fixed what we could and did a bit of Kiwi weight reduction, then figured out exactly what needed replacing. It wasn't much.
Oh. Yeah, the front wheel bearings.
She's doofed.
So, with the damage tallied up, I returned the next day, having absolutely exhausted the last dregs of my $1,000 budget.
New bearings for the front and rear wheel, because we found that the rear ones are buggered too, and I also picked up a new tyre with basically my last $130. So these cost me about $10 in total. This cost me $130. I've got like just under $10 left out of my $1,000 budget. I couldn't think of anything else to spend the other 140 or so on, so you know, a tyre's a no-brainer. It actually has pretty good tyres on it, but this will just be like, especially where we're going with it being muddy and, you know, slippery and tree rooty and all that, I just thought it well worth getting a soft compound tyre, and that'll just give me that little extra advantage when the going gets tough. But yeah, like I said, the ones on it are pretty good, so I'm going to take it for a bit of a shakedown tomorrow and I'll leave those old tyres on it for that, so that I don't bugger this one. And then during the week I'll quickly throw this one on before we go and do the challenges. And yeah, honestly, like a brand new tyre in that thing, it's gonna be pretty hard to beat. Right, let's get into it.
I'd highly recommend this strategy of getting Dad and Grandad to do all of the work for you, by the way. It not only ensures easy bike maintenance, but that the bike gets put back together correctly by the end of the day, so that you can go and ride it. Like I was about to.
Say this naughty girl for a shakedown.
At this point, it sort of finally dawned on me just how much of a steal I'd picked up.
That's even better than, like, a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it doesn't feel dissimilar to a modern bike. It's just got no power, and that's about it. The brakes are a bit weak, I suppose. Like, other than that, like the brakes are not so weak that you can't lock the wheels up whenever you want to. And the power's fine just as long as you're ready for it and you just use the clutch and that, keep it in the high RPMs. Jeez, she's a weapon. I'm feeling pretty confident about it now. I can't imagine in a million years that they've got anything that'll be this good.
Well, I was about to find out the truth of that. The boys had all been instructed to rendezvous with me here, where a bunch of challenges were laid out, specifically designed to push any dirt bike to its limits. We were in for a weekend of low-octane hell, and we all knew it. But we didn't know what bikes one another had.
Oh, good skid, Jeff.
And nobody knew who was going to come out on top.
Oh, good girl. Oh. Look at you. You look great, don't you?
It was like Christmas morning, but with fear and dread mixed in.
Right. Now we wait.